welcome to Next Week Tonight. Yes, welcome. I'm your host, Joshua. Next Week Tonight, week 3. This is the show I put on each week. Comes out every Friday, where I am a week ahead of everybody else. And I'm trying to get you the players that are going to be all the players everyone's adding next week. So don't wait to react to week 2 when you can pre-act to it. That's what we're doing here. We also talk about streamers for week 3 that you can get on your team now. Don't wait. And also trades, either because of situation, schedule, other situations that I think are going to be advantageous that you can take advantage of right here, right now, this week, before everyone else is on to you. So this is the quick video recap. If you want to, go ahead and check out the go ahead and check out the full podcast on wherever you get your podcast. Fusion Fantasy Football Podcasts. It's on Apple. It's on Stitcher, Spotify. Check it out. Let's get going. Going to look at really quick what I did 2 episodes ago for week 1. Before these were popular, that's what we were saying. 2 worked out, 2 didn't. That's okay. You just need a couple of these guys to hit to make it all worth it. Acquire Michael Gallup, Stephon Diggs. I still like those calls. Pretty good. Gronk, Jordan Howard, not so hot. Will Fuller had a solid game. I wouldn't call it a huge game, but it was a pretty good game. If you can sell high to the people who absolutely love him, that's all I'm saying here. Just be ready to cash out if you want to. If you love him, hold on to him. All right, week 2 last week. Week 2 games haven't even happened yet. I just watched the Thursday night game. But these were the calls. Add Kendrick Bourne. And it was a good call then, and it's an even better call now if Kittle is out. So go ahead and grab him for a solid floor of targets and receptions against a bad Jets team. Greg Ward, similar situation for the Eagles. They really need receiving help. And as I predicted, he had the second most targets for that team in week 1. I think that'll continue until Rager finally comes along or Jeffrey finally pulls together and plays one game. Either way, low ceiling, maybe low ceiling, but a high floor. Van Jefferson, still like this call. We'll see if it really goes anywhere. Benny Snell. Yeah, before Connor was hurt, I was saying Benny Snell because I was saying you shouldn't have had Connor anyway. But just in case, you should go get Benny Snell. I was saying go get Marquez Valdes-Scantling and Alan Lazard. Looks pretty good. Bengals. I was saying to get John Ross because he had the most snaps and a lot of air yards in week 1. We just saw him here Thursday night. Didn't do a lot, so maybe that's not a great call. I'm going to have to cross that out. We'll see. Then, week 2 for streamers. And I'm going back over these guys because these, you still have time to actually get them for week 2 because I'm a week ahead. Jimmy Garoppolo, probably not going to get him anymore. Everyone knows he's playing the Jets, right? But Goff playing the Eagles is a very realistic one out there on your waivers. Pick him up for free. The Eagles defense, I think, can be taken advantage of. And here, right, I said Trubisky. Before he even did what he did week 1, I was saying it's not going to be pretty, but it's fantasy points. And it's not going to be pretty against the Giants, but you can put points up on the Giants. They're not maybe as bad as we thought, but maybe Pittsburgh wasn't as good as we think they were either, but they definitely put up points. So can the Bears. Greg Olsen. Yeah, I was saying it before it happened, but mostly I was saying it because I wanted you to get him just in case he had a good week 1, because then other people might want him. I was telling you that before because I was looking forward to week 2 here. Seattle versus New England. New England is not going to be good versus tight end for several weeks at least. It's a typical Patriot thing. I don't know what it is, but teams often take advantage of the tight ends with tight ends over the Patriots early in the season, And that's even going to be worse this season with the linebackers that all left, were opted out for the season, right? Bears, Giants, Browns, Bengals. Yeah, the Browns defense got you some points, positives. Not bad for a streamer. Trades, acquire Christian Kirk. I'm still sticking with that, guys. I like him. I love him. 5 targets, 1 reception, 0 yards. That's okay. It's not going to be like that every single week. They have some good opponents coming up that play the Washington football team this coming week. The good front seven, they're going to shut down the run game. They're going to have to throw it like crazy, just like the Eagles did. I think Kirk can get the work. Jonnu Smith, too late. He's already blown up, and everyone is on to his great week 2 matchup against the Jaguars. Sorry, should have listened to last week. Oh, this got messed up, but that's okay. Flip T.Y. Hilton. Oh, you're getting a preview of my Excel's pre-actions before week 2 here. LaMichael P. Ryan, go ahead and get him on your team now before he does something. This is a bit of a reach, but if you're in a deep league, Bell's on IR for 3 weeks. Gore's the starter. Josh Adams. They signed Kalen Ballage, I think, just in case P. Ryan wasn't able to go this week. But Darnold was saying he looked really, really good in practice today. He's back. So just grab him, because if he does something, he's worth something. Maybe you just sell him. Maybe you use him. But either way, he's free now and will be worth something later if you have extra room on your bench to do that. If you don't, that's fine. If he doesn't work out, cut him for next week's guys, right? Jordan Aiken's a little bit late on this, but I didn't see it, and then he had a good week. I think people are still don't think anything of it. They think, oh, just a tight end who caught a touchdown. I think he can be more than that with the Texans. So go ahead and buy in before everyone else figures it out, just because he had one good game. Similar for Russell Gage. I think he is not just a fluke big game. I think he is getting all the work people thought Hurst was going to get, and that's going to continue. Brandon Ayuk. Now, I do like Kendrick Bourne still, but Brandon Ayuk is a first-round rookie. Perceived value is much higher. Ayuk and Bourne can have identical week 2s, but Ayuk's value will be twice as much. So go ahead and get him. He just started coming back to practice. He may play week 2, and they may not have Kittle, and they don't have Debo. So this could be the first good look we get at Ayuk. And if he does anything, people are going to be ready to buy him. Trades. Go ahead and get Leonard Fournette now, because I still don't buy Ronald Jones. And maybe someone who owns Leonard Fournette is getting discouraged because they saw how much work Ronald Jones got week 1. Hopefully they didn't look closer and realize he didn't do much with it. All right. Preston Williams. I know the people who have him like him, and I know he's not going to be cheap. But guess what? He plays the Jaguars in a couple weeks. Week 3. Dolphins. Okay. That could be his blow-up game. Get him now before his value spikes even higher. If you want him, you better go get him. Same thing for Julian Edelman. If you want him, you better get him. Because I think they're going to be throwing the ball this week 2 against Seattle. Week 1 was all about running the ball down the Dolphins' throats. Week 2 is going to be more about throwing the ball. And even in week 1, Edelman had 70% of the team's air yards. His low snap count was probably just because they had a lot of run-heavy packages out there. I mean, Damiere Byrd was out there blocking for the run game. All right. Let's go on. Austin Eckler, he's cheap now. I don't care. Go ahead and buy him. If you can ever buy Eckler cheap, buy him. By the time we get to the end of the season, he will be balling and he will be winning you your league. Because even if he's bad now because Tyrod is bad, that's fine. As long as Tyrod is bad and keeps being bad, they will replace him with the rookie Justin Herbert. And Justin Herbert could be very good for Austin Eckler. Antonio Gibson, people are getting out on him too soon. Expecting too much from him too soon. That's fine. If you want to do that, I'll take him off your hands because he can be really, really good. He almost broke along. If he had not tripped up by his own teammate and run a big long touchdown, 60-yard or something, perception would be completely different. So don't wait for him to do it here this week against, I already know who he's playing. I was just talking about it. Can't think of it. That's okay. Go ahead and get him now for cheap. I mean, it's not that cheap, but come on. Cash in Traquan Smith with Michael Thomas out. All of the Traquan Smith truthers are all hyped up about it. And maybe that's you. Or maybe you just had him on your team, on your dynasty team, because he just was hanging out there. I had him in lots of leagues. I really liked him. Didn't do anything his rookie year and didn't do much his second year. We saw Breeze try to get him the ball, and he had that game where he had the touchdown and they had the big celebration. That was Traquan Smith, and Breeze was all congratulatory about him, but the rest of the season he did nothing. He's not going to be anything. I'm out. Sell him with a high hype now when he does nothing in week 2 and everyone goes, oh, okay, I guess not. You already cashed out. And you saw it already. Sell T.Y. Hilton. Get it over with. It's over. He's not the right receiver for Phillip Rivers, who likes to throw it short, not deep. Where does T.Y. Hilton run? Deep, not short. They don't go together well. It's not luck. It's not a match. It's not the same. Just buy Paris Campbell. Get it over with. By the end of the season, Paris Campbell is going to be worth more than T.Y. Hilton. He's going to be scoring more points. Get it over with and just do it now. Don't wait and see. Wait and see doesn't get you anywhere. Do it now. 1 for 1 if you have to. Just get it over with. All right. Streamers. I don't know why this is messed up. It was working before. I don't know. I do this all in one take, so we're going. Ryan Fitzpatrick. Why? Because we just talked about it in week 3. The Dolphins are playing the Jaguars. I love the Jaguars. Everything to do against if it's Jaguars adjacent, I want a piece of it. Phillip Rivers, same thing, playing the Jets in week 3. These guys are absolutely going to be on your waivers for free right now, especially Fitzpatrick, because this week they play the Titans. Nobody wants Fitzpatrick playing the Titans. So he's going to be on your waivers. Go pick him up for free, and you're ready with your streamer next week. Matt Breida, it's hard finding streaming running backs on waivers, but Breida probably is getting discarded by teams. Week 3 they play the Jaguars, and he's the closest thing to the receiving guy they have, so if he can do that for them, great. James Washington, they're playing Houston in week 3. He's kind of the third wheel there, but I think he's going to have games where he scores just as much or more than Juju or Deontay Johnson. It's not going to always be as consistent, but this, I think, weak Houston defense is a good matchup for it to happen. Tight end, Irv Smith, Tennessee. It's not a lot of information yet, but I think Tennessee might be weak at tight end, and so if there's a place to target, that's where I would go. It'll give Irv Smith a couple weeks here to get worked in more. He was not involved as much as I had hoped week 1, but that's okay. I'm still sticking with it because I think he can do it, and if that matchup works for him, great. Jimmy Graham caught a touchdown. This is just classic tight end streamer versus Atlanta, who also gave up points to tight ends. Yes, it was the Seahawks, but yeah, the Seahawks just give touchdowns to their tight ends. So sounds like the Bears too. Defenses, I only have really one decent one I liked here is Washington against the Browns. The Browns look pretty good tonight, but like I said before, Washington's good at stopping the rush, the running game. It's going to force Baker Mayfield to throw it, and that's when he starts to look bad, right? So if they can't establish that running game, it goes downhill for Baker. This could be another one of those surprise games, just like Washington surprised the Eagles. That's it, guys. So go look back over this video if you need. Look at the screens, the slides here. Hope you have a good week 2. I'll see you next week for Next Week Tonight, week 4. Always staying a week ahead, always pre-acting to all the moves and trying to keep you ahead of the competition. Thanks for watching, everybody, and see you next week.